everybody.
I don't know.
You guys gonna leave? They won't do it for like 10 minutes. I know you got 2 kids that have been waiting for an hour. All right, folks. This is the time of the reunion. That's always kind of the not as fun part, but kind of necessary part. I'd like to kind of go through a little bit of the war reunion stuff here. Anybody hear me? Anybody hear me?
Now we find out.
Hello? Everybody hear me?
Yep.
Is this the one I need to be using?
That sounds better. That other one's to pass around.
Oh, this is the pass around.
That's the one to pass around so people can introduce themselves. Not as good as the one that I was using.
Okay, so we're streaming live, or we're not streaming live, but we're recording this. And we're going to make it available so that other people can see it if they would like to. First of all, I made a book, The Warner Reunions, and it has pictures from about the last 10, 15 years, with also some older photos from reunions back to 1936 and 1961, 1985, different reunions we had. I'd like to just say thanks and hi to everybody that came, guests, and Warner relatives, and Warner friends, and Warner people, whatever. Okay. I'm Tom Warner, and I wear this hat so I remember who I am when I go to my retirement services and they ask what my name is, how you spell it, I just can go like that instead of remembering. But really, I wear this for this particular event, and I'm just glad everybody could make it and that we can all be part of the family together. So, we're here, just real quickly. I think our balance, budget balance is about $500, just north of $545 or $550 that we have in the bank right now. The bank is in my name. Bob has got a credit card.
It don't work.
Yeah, I'm going to give it back to you because it doesn't work. I tried it. They told me to get out of the store.
Well, his name is on the account, so his intention is... Yeah. Just in case something happens to me, he should be able to get the money. If he doesn't with the card, then I guess we'll have to figure that out with the bank. It's an MSU credit union. Anyway, it's kind of easy way to do that.
Has the been recently active?
I don't think he's used it for
No, it's
ever.
Sometimes they come in just active.
Yeah.
They said it was invalid.
Pardon me?
They told me it was invalid. They tried a whole bunch of ways, and I think they were Wolverines. Maybe.
When was the expiration date on it? You know?
I can tell you right now.
25? Thursday. Because I know they got reissued.
It won't work. It says 1936. No, it says 1116. That's quite a ways away.
Yeah, you should have got a new card since then. But
Nobody sent me a card.
Sorry I asked about that.
no, that's a good point. I guess I'm gonna have to find out why I haven't reissued you another card.
If I'd have turned it upside down and read it, it probably would have been. They probably would have took it.
Anyway, all right. So that's kind of a little bit where we're at. Right now, I'm the president or acting president, or I don't know, something like that. If somebody else would rather be president, love to have you.
Do they get the hat? You've got the hat.
I got the hat, yeah. I got the hat, or do they get the hat? Yeah, I guess I can. Yeah. I get the hat too. So right now, I'm cool with staying either because I know that we can vote, but whoever you vote in is going to say no, and so I'll still get it anyway. Unless Adam wants to do it. You want to do it, Adam?
Step up, Adam.
Come on, Adam. President Adam. Come on, Adam.
Do it.
You can do it.
Yes.
Anyway, so I mean, back a few years we did this officially, and we did it by bylaws and everything, but everybody, kind of the feedback from most people was that they didn't really want to do the business part. Let's just be the friendship and the family, and so we don't really do the business part, and I'm not, that's one reason that I'm not doing it so much. That's a problem, let me know when we can change, but that's kind of how it's been. we've had a lot of feedback from like Lucas and some of the younger people. And, you know, we were gonna have a tent out here, one of those floaty tents with the bouncy balls. You know, so you guys could do all that, yeah, and you know, the slippery slides. But I don't know. For some reason, you guys didn't bring your bathing suits, so I don't, you know, maybe not. Next year, okay. Anyway, yeah, hopefully, so in the future, we're looking for, Sheila and I, and we've talked about this before, have looked for other activities. The truth is, I think we need to get people relating to each other, meeting each other, and then having fun together, and then wanting to come. You know, like, these guys came, these are my second cousins, I think this is awesome. I want my cousins to come, but they live in Arizona, and it's like too far a drive, I guess. I don't know. So, just, you know, for this to not even grow, I'll just say sustain, you know, like when you bring your daughter and or your granddaughter and their grandkids, great grandkids, that kind of stuff has to happen, or else we're going to lose this. Nancy and I have tried to do the euchre tournament. We got one 2 years ago. This last year, we weren't able to do it. Maybe we'll try again in the fall.
Well, I don't know, we're having a few issues with our city council is not putting up for the repairs of the house, and
so maybe
that doesn't mean we can't meet somewhere.
Yeah, but the location maybe will have to change.
Right.
But so we're going to work together. I'm going to work with Nancy to have a localized euchre tournament, just kind of, you know, humble. Then pretty soon maybe you'll build like they have for their Yahtzee tournament where there's like hundreds of people and thousands of games, and right, Greg, something like that, which is pretty awesome, by the way. I started going to their Yahtzee tournament. It's pretty awesome. I think there's a advertisement in it's in Grand Rapids, and that's really a great fun time, right, Kat?
Yes,
I went the last 2 times. It's a really fun time, and you get to meet.
I've never played Yahtzee before until then, and then it won.
One thing about their tournament is everybody wins, I think. Wins something. And if you don't win and they got enough games at the end, they'll give you 23 of them. So it's pretty fun. Again, more Warner presentations. A lot of this stuff is stuff that's been around for a while. I think it's more for people that haven't seen it, or maybe for people that want to see it again, or just a refreshment. It's all based on the Warners. If you can look at the family tree, that's a picture that we have of the family tree. By the way, I've still got about 150 of those left, or something like that. My mom had 1,000 of them printed off, and Susan Davis's daughter, Susan, I think.
Yes. Susie.
Susie.
Susan Davis.
Okay, so Sue Davis was her dad, was her mom, and then Susan Davis is the. Something like that. I don't know, anyway. Susan Jr., I don't know, whatever. She made a bunch of them for my mom, and about 2 years ago she said that I don't have room to keep them anymore, so she sent them all to me. And so I said about, I don't know, 100, 150 of them. We're selling them at $20 a piece. Money goes into the Warner Fund. So that's, if you need one or like one, I have some more of them here. We've got 2 versions. One of them is just the generic one for all of David Warner's ancestors, and the other one is more specific for the next generation down Lewis's side. Now, you guys with me are with the Newton side. I mean, Lewis, Newton family, and then I think you guys are more like Charles, the Charles family. And Debbie Young is part of the George Valoris, and then we got the Baileys here. They're from the Fairchilds. I'm trying to think what her name was. Bailey's mom. Anyway, she passed away in, I think, December. Rami Bailey's mother-in-law passed away. And she was one of Lewis's sisters. And it's kind of interesting. A lot of that part of the family sited in Alto, and then David, their father's actually buried in Alaska, Michigan. So, anyway. Any current business that anybody wants to bring up or talk about? Or first of all, thank you for the meal. Jane's come up here with the microphone, or she's...
No, Nancy's going to tell
I had, when Tom was out at the museum, he had a nice hardbound book that I was enthusiastic about. So, got on Amazon and just went to the book section and then the history section, and I was able to find the descendants of Andrew Warner. And I think it was only like $27 or something. They had both used and new, and I got the new for $20-some. So that's a good way to get if you want a copy of this. You can do that on Amazon.
Also, Charles, see Charles here right now, but Charles also had a copy of that book in a textual format, digital textual format, PDF file. It's like 35
I thought it was
meg.
interesting too, though, that yours had the original. It had
Mine's
the
right
woman
there.
that helped.
Mine's right there.
Yeah, the woman that helped write it was on yours, but she's not credited on this one.
In the first page. In the first
Like,
page.
okay,
It's in the first page.
She's not on the cover, I guess.
but but it's not on.
Yeah.
It's not on the
So
cover.
I bought mine on Amazon also. I looked at that about 10 years ago when it was like 110 bucks. That's a little bit high. My mom, probably about 25 years ago, went to the state of Michigan library and photocopied off a bunch of sheets, I remember. And then I came back 2 or 3 years later, I think I paid like $45 for that. So it's cool, you got it for $27. And it's not copyrighted, it's just all a public domain that he just put together. Used Lucian Warner to put together. Anyway.
I've got a question. I noticed you can also buy it electronically on Apple or on, what is the other?
Like iTunes?
That isn't Apple.
No. Android.
Yes, Android. And I'm wondering if that would be,
Like an e-book?
yeah, I wonder if that would be searchable.
I don't know, but what I'm trying to do, which is like number 379 on my priority list, is I'm trying to put it in a database.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I'm wondering if it would be searchable if it was.
Yeah, get all the ties together, because I'm fascinated. Just a quick story here. I had posted a picture of Andrew Warner and made a comment online, some of our genealogical or historical places, I don't remember what it was, and then I was happening to look at my phone on my Facebook Messenger, which comes with Facebook, and that was like 5 years before that, because I never used Messenger. Somebody had posted something in my Facebook account. And here this guy's name was Benjamin Arnold, and he said he's from Warner Brothers. Anyway, so this guy Benjamin Arnold, sent a comment about, well, what do you know about Andrew Warner? You seem pretty knowledgeable about it. And I just said, well, I'm one of his ancestors. It's in this book and whatever. Well, he is an ancestor of Isaac Warner. That's in that series, which was David's son. Our son was, I think, I have to think of that. Andrew, and then I think it was Jonathan? Hold on. I don't want to screw it up. Daniel. So our ancestor was Daniel, and his was Isaac. And so he was just asking about that, and it's kind of cool. We go back, 12 generations. So we're 12th cousins, right? We're like second cousins, we're like fifth cousins, and, whatever. But we're like 12th cousins, so I guess that doesn't really mean a whole lot. It's just kind of fun. But anyway, so we were talking, and he said that there's this whole town, this whole area in northern New York that's Warner, like Warner Mountain, Warner Street, Warner everything. So at some point after I retire, which I guess is now, I'm going to go up and maybe visit him and see how that works. Anyway, his name was Benjamin Arnold, so he says, oh, that reminds me of Benedict Arnold. He goes, yeah. He says, Benedict Arnold was his dad's brother. So he was related to the Warners and also to the Arnolds, which is kind of interesting. It's amazing to me, we tied to the Eastern Seaboard, right? All of the ancestors that come from the Eastern Seaboard, they intermarried and intermingled. So my dad's mom's side were related to the Pilgrims, Well, I guess you guys don't count that way. And with my dad's side, we're all part of the Puritans back in 1631. And, but we're also like tied to Abraham Lincoln, like a fifth cousin from Abraham Lincoln, through his dad's side of the family. Well, obviously Lincoln, right? But, and then I think we're even related to Martha Washington, not George, because they never had any kids, but to Martha, I think we are. And so, and then also the guy that wrote Webster's Dictionary, Noah Webster, and one of the captains of Old Ironsides, Preble, I think was his name, that we're related to in 1813, 1815, something like that. So we're related to a lot of people, I guess. I mean, I guess technically, you know, there was Noah, and there was Ham, Shem, Jacob.
Don't go back too far, we find that I'm waiting.
We have to consult the authorities here. Anyway, so just a little bit of fun facts and things about that. Appreciate this gathering. It's been, historically, it's been just a nice time just to get together and you know, have fun. Like I said, I didn't bring the slippery slide or the, you know, rough room. I hope you guys aren't mad, but anyway. My mom, like I said, my mom's report on her, she'll be 96 in November. And I was able to, the last 100th reunion, get some of my cousins to come because I said, you know, you may not see her in this kind of setting again. So I don't know if I can squeeze them like that next time or not. But so which brings me to the next point. Our next reunion is the 105th. Now, we've kind of talked about this, and I don't know if this is just my dream or whatever, but I'm thinking about every 5 years or 10 years, have a big reunion, and then try to pull everybody, like everybody's kids, everybody's grandkids, you know, go down the street and have them come too. I don't know. Is that reasonable, or is that?
Oh, I think it's great.
Which means then we have to have a little more structure. You know, I mean, we've been so fortunate to have Bob and his family put on this barn experience for us. And let's give him a hand about that. Because I know it's a lot of work for him. You know, I mean, fortunately he doesn't have to drive very far, but you know, it's a little bit yet to clean up and set up and, you know, take us on, so we appreciate that. But so next year, if you're all in agreement, I'm thinking we should go back to Grand Rapids and, like I said, put on the 100th reunion the second time.
Yes.
I think if I say it like that, I might get more responsive if I say it's the 105th. Because, you know, it's like when I was talking to your brother Doug, you know, oh, we can't mix the 100th one. We can't miss the 100th one. Well, if I said it's the 105th, he says, well, I don't know, it's 105th maybe, you know. So I'm just thinking psychologically, if we say it's the 100th again, we might be able to get some out of that. If that's true, I think what I'd like to do is have anybody that wants to help. You know, I know Judy said that she'd be like open to like helping with registration. Just, you know, let us know. I mean, I know that's a year away from it and life could happen, but I'm not really good about making assignments to people, especially volunteers, if you don't know if they're going to volunteer or not. So if you're really open to doing that, let me know.
Ask Janet what she's going to do.
Hi, Janet.
Well, I'm just going to label people again. I don't know if that works. Are we going to go around and have everybody tell a little bit about themselves?
Yeah, that sounds awesome. First of all, let me just say thanks though for the name tags.
That's really nice.
Yeah, I know my mom used to be really good at that, and sometimes I'm not so good about getting all of the little pieces together. So it's really helpful that you did that for us today. Anything else that I need to talk about, or we need to talk about here before we do pass it around? Because I think this is a great idea. Go ahead.
Okay, you don't want to sign, but do you remember at the 100th, this man had mugs with Olive and David on it, on Warner? Chuck and I have one, and you could order it from him. It was
Miss
maybe
probably right, the one that did the shirts, probably.
1,000 places on Amazon.
Remember we had blue shirt, everybody? Remember we had blue shirts that had Warner on it?
And he did the mug.
Bill Ryder. He probably had, yeah, I think we probably had some of those.
We should contact him at least to have 1 or 2 samples so that we can order, people can order, because I'm very proud of those mugs.
Do you want shirts again? You guys want shirts again?
I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, but I'm just saying the mugs.
Well, I'm just throwing it out there generally.
Yeah.
I mean, so shirts aren't necessarily anything what anybody wants? That's fine. I mean, that's fine with me. But you want some kind of a souvenir maybe,
Well, it was nice.
just a Warner brand type thing? Not David and Olive?
Pictures were on there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Warner brand, just something that says, okay, so you want the pictures on it? Okay, that's fine. Anything else?
You could go around for everybody to put their email address, then lots of it could be done with email communication. Where, when, do we want a mug, or do we want a shirt, or whatever?
That's a good point. Let me talk about that first, because that's a good point.
Email.
Let me just say, this year, I tried to send out an email to everybody and I was late, but I put everybody's email in my one big thing. I put it in my outbox and it got stuck and none of them went out and I didn't know it. So people said they didn't get any. This was after you told me that you wanted it and after I said, yes, I'm going to send it out. I went in and found out that my particular utility put a blank in front of everybody's name and every Gmail account kicked it out. So I had to send everybody one by one. When I did that, 25% of the emails came back.
Oh, Chuck and Judy sent me.
Wrong, you know, I mean, some of them were server doesn't recognize name, you know, whatever the thing, and some maybe their box was full. I don't know. I mean, there's like different reasons, and it took me a while to figure out why the first ones didn't go through, and then it was because it put a space in everybody's name. And before, what I had an Excel sheet with everybody's name on it since from Mary's time, and I just copied that in and just pasted it in an email and sent it, and that's worked every other time. This time I copied it, pasted it in, and I put a blank in front of everybody's name. So now every time I put everybody's name in, it had recorded it, so I had to type everybody's email in. And that was like, you know, so, anyway, but I am trying to, you know, do this through email, and then Sheila's been really good about doing the newsletter, and she's got the names, and she's been cleaning up some of the addresses too. So, and then for people that don't use email, and the younger generation does Facebook, so we have the stuff on Facebook. So, I mean, you know, we've talked about maybe even having a Warner website, but somebody's got to manage it, and it's money, and I'm not really the best one for that. You know, if Judy, you want to do that, that'd be great.
Do what?
Set up a Warner website.
I thought there were free websites, I thought there was free.
Well, Facebook is free.
No, I mean, actual you set up a website for free. Don't ask me to do it, but I just heard about it.
Don't ask me because I don't do that.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I post stuff usually, like these pictures, I'll post some of these pictures. By the way, we need to get some pictures today for whoever wants to take pictures. I do have the camera, I guess I could go out and get it and take some well before everybody leaves. But, so next year is the big one we're looking for. So, let's see, I'm gonna put a notebook up here.
Sheila's did, she passed her on.
Yeah, but I mean for who wants to volunteer.
I didn't pass around that one.
Right. I'm just saying that this would be, we want to keep those lists separate so that we're not sending ones that everybody says, oh yeah, you're going to volunteer next year. I didn't say that. I'll get something out. Okay. Yeah. I'm just looking for it. I set it down. Somewhere. So like I said, here's a book that I had published. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but I'm going to pass it back around. Just pictures of the reunions. They're kind of fun. Anything else? Wilbur?
There's another Warner reunion around the country. You ever checked that out?
The one in Florida? Oh no, you said something about Ohio or something like that. I think. Yeah, no, I actually.
I tried to get you a Warner reunion. That's what popped up.
Oh.
See that one?
I think I tried looking it up once, but I think I got distracted and I didn't get through it. So let me put that down as a note.
I had a notebook right here just a minute ago, I don't know what I did.
Jim's got another one to give you.
I mean, it's a notebook. It had my notes on it, so I'm saying.
Tom, should we start this around and let people tell a little bit about themselves?
Yes, that'd be, just a minute. Bob? Robert?
Yeah.
Can I have you take the video camera and kind of follow people around now? Because they're going to kind of tell.
I don't want my picture on Facebook, I'll tell you.
Oh, no, you aren't gonna put this out anywhere.
Well, we can turn it off. Right now we're going to just.
Did I sell this one?
We were going to just show, kind of what the reunion is for people that couldn't be here.
No.
But that's okay. We can turn it off. That's fine.
You want the camera on or off?
If it's just for our group, that's one thing, but stuff out there, it's
Just for the group
Unless
to
I
show
post it
the
myself,
family
I don't
what
want
the
anybody
reunions
to
are
feel
all about.
Yeah. Kind of stops it, don't it?
Yeah.
When I never.